Welcome back to the Joust About Careers podcast. I'm your host, Brian Bride, and I'm a career advisor and English teacher at Buren High School. I've seen too many people spend a lot of time and money working toward careers they don't enjoy or don't help them achieve the purposes they've identified for their lives. I want to make sure that doesn't happen to anyone else. Today's episode features a 10-minute highlights of my interview with Kristina Rowles, the Director of Home Repair for Appalachia Service Project. The highlights include a typical day for Kristina, how she made the career move from music therapy to her current position, how she learned many valuable skills throughout college that she still applies today, and how young adults can get involved in ASP's internship program. If these highlights make you want to learn more about Kristina's career journey, check out the full interview and enjoy the show.
As Director of Home Repair, I oversee our entire home repair program that we do here at ASP. And so what we do is we're a nonprofit that does home repair and replacement for low-income families in Central Appalachia. Our main office is located in Johnson City, Tennessee, and we also serve other counties in East Tennessee, Eastern Kentucky, Southwestern Virginia, West Virginia, and then sometimes also in North Carolina. So we kind of fit that Central Appalachia. We operate mostly with volunteers doing home repair, and then we kind of manage that day to day. The home repairs are done at no cost to families, and so it's kind of immediate needs. And so as far as my role is, I oversee the entire program of the home repairs that we do. This past summer, we worked for 245 families throughout 4 different states. And so my job is to make sure all of that runs smoothly. Our summer program is our busiest. That's where we get an influx of volunteers because that's a lot of times when people have more availability. Our volunteers tend to be mostly high school youth led by adults kind of working on projects. And so again, most high schoolers are not in school over the summer, and that's when they have an opportunity to volunteer with us. We had about 8,000 volunteers this summer. And then during the other 9 months of the year, we'll get maybe 1,000 to 2,000 volunteers depending on the year. And so we spend the other 9 months kind of prepping for what that busy summertime looks like, so that we're able to kind of bloom out and work in all of those different areas. So a typical day to day in my job currently, depends a little bit on the season. Over the summer, I'll be out going and visiting volunteers, going out to work sites, seeing projects that are done, helping ensure that the work that is being done is quality home repair, as well as services are being met, volunteers are getting what they need. And then sometimes during other parts of the year, I'm working on grant funding. I do a lot with kind of compliance with grants, trying to see what other funding sources are out there. I'm lucky to have a team of people that help with writing grants, and so helping kind of make sure we're going after grants that can fit within the work that we do. And then other times just kind of prepping for what are the changes that we want to see in our summer program. So there's kind of a lot that kind of gets wrapped into that. But I think that might be a little bit of an overview. With music therapy, it's very focused. I'm going to get a degree in music therapy. I'm going to be a music therapist. I did that for 2 years. And I think with some of my experience volunteering with ASP in high school, and then I worked my summers in college with ASP, kind of doing, running the construction programs and the project management side of things, I still saw that there were sometimes needs that people had outside of what music could offer as a therapeutic service. And so I was always looking for more kind of in the roles that I was in when I worked as a music therapist, seeing kind of like that holistic need that some people have. I was looking for a change in my job, and then an opening happened with ASP when I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I would be interested in going back to. And I've kind of had a few different roles at ASP before I've landed into this director of home repair position. have always been someone that tends to struggle to say no to things, whether that's within my job, within what I'm interested in doing within my community. I'm always like, yes, I want to do this. I want to help other people. That's always been, I think, something that's been important to me in high school, as well as being involved with things at schools, involved in things at church, in the community. It's always been something. So that continued to be the same while I was in school at Ohio University. And so I think what that allowed me to do is learn how to juggle a lot of different tasks, projects, and be able to prioritize how to get things done, and kind of do all of that and still succeed at the same time. I think with some of the things that were more directly music related, there was still a lot of just like project management kind of tools of, seeing something through to completion. The way you do that may be a little bit differently, but there's always kind of that, those normal steps that kind of come through. And I used that. I would say that I also looked for leadership opportunities within the organizations I was involved in college. And that allowed me to grow as a leader amongst peers, which can be very challenging, which has then helped me professionally when I'm also tend to be a manager of peers as well. And so I think just kind of taking the opportunities where I could have them was the best thing that I could do, because while I do not think music therapy was ever going to be the thing I did forever, I'm very, very glad that I had that as an experience, that I did that I worked as a music therapist for a couple of years, because that's what then led me to where I'm at now, even though I'm not practicing as a music therapist every day. It is one of the most rewarding experiences I have ever had in my life. The skills that I learned working my summers for ASP have given me so many skills that I still use today. Some of that may be obvious because I'm still working for the same organization, but even when I worked as a music therapist, I thought, oh, I'll never use these things that I learned, and I was doing it all the time. I've never had a job that's given me so much responsibility, especially as a college student. So kind of the role of what those kind of summer staff, they can definitely fit into internship credits as well for kind of whatever your major might be, but you are managing construction projects. You are sometimes even choosing them. You're writing the plan. So you got that full project management. You've got to make sure you're staying on budget. You're complying with grants, making sure that you're ordering all of the materials, getting them out on site. You're also working with volunteers from all over the country, some that are high schoolers, some that are adults, some in between, and making sure that they know what work to do some evening programming with them, all while kind of spending a summer in Appalachia in a community that has need, and a community that has some really cool things they're trying to do to grow the region. Sadly, there was also a devastating flood in eastern Kentucky this past summer, and so we are working with people that have been impacted by a natural disaster as well. And so the things that I took from, I guess, those summers in college is, I've said this a couple of times, but project management, obviously a project, doing a construction project, seeing a porch from digging the, footers to, putting everything into place. There's certain steps that are, that have to happen with that. And you're able to take that for any kind of project you may be doing. Budget management. My last summer working for ASP, the position I was in, I was a center director. I was overseeing staff that were peers. So I was giving evals to people who I was living and working with. I was their boss. As a college student, I was in charge of a $40,000 budget as a college student. And it's really great experience that then when I took kind of into a professional setting, working for a nursing home that was also a nonprofit, nonprofits do things pretty similarly. And so it was really great to get that experience to give back to the community and make some really long-lasting relationships.
Thank you for watching and listening to this episode of the Joust About Careers podcast. I hope you learned valuable information from this career story, and to be sure you don't miss upcoming episodes, please click subscribe on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform so you'll know when the next episode is released. Thank you for watching, and as always, this is the place to go to learn just about careers.